everybody, and welcome to John Talks Indian Cinema. I am your host, the ever humble Indian Cine-MANIAC, back with another 15 to 20-ish minute review. Okay, so this film was not recommended to me by anybody, although someone did recommend, and it might have been Cooley Singh, if I remember right, who wanted me to do a trailer reaction to this film. Well, it finally showed up streaming, so I decided to watch it. And the film, oh, first, before I get to that, I want to thank everybody because about a month ago, I had about 1,600 subscriptions, and I was getting a little frustrated because I'm pumping out a lot of content and the subscriptions just weren't going up. And I put a couple of reviews on there, trailer reactions, that really took off. And I've mentioned this before, but one had 20,000 views, which is more than anything I've done in all the years I've been doing this. A little year and 3 months on this particular channel, but even on the previous channel. And I just want to thank everybody because right now I'm as of this filming, it's 1,950 subscribers, and I'm sure by the time this actually drops, I might have already hit 2,000. So I just want to thank everybody because I want to thank two groups of people: the people who've been sticking around with this since the beginning, and you know who you are, and the new viewers. I really appreciate that. And you guys have given me some recommendations. When a trailer comes out, you're on top of it that day and let me know. And of course, if I can do it that day, I'm going to do it as long as I'm not out working or something. So keep them coming, all right? So the film that I am going to review is Kantara, a Legend, Chapter 1. Now, I did not see 2022's Kantara. So this was a prequel. So I didn't think I needed to see that to see this movie. My question is, after seeing this movie, should I watch Kantara now? Because I don't know how it ties to this. So I want you to let me know that. Now, it was directed by Rishab Shetty, who also plays the lead role in this. And I I don't think I've seen him in anything other than the trailers that I've reacted to. He was excellent in this. I really liked him. And obviously, great visual director because this was a gorgeously filmed film. Beautiful. Also, Gulshan Devaiah. I hope I'm pronouncing that right because he was excellent in this too. Excellent as a bad king. He's actually, I've seen him in Badhaai Do. Rukmini Vasanth, who, I might as well say this now because this is going to be a spoiler-filled review. So if you have not seen Kantara, A Legend Chapter 1, don't watch this because I'm going to spoil it, all right? So I'm going to give you 5 seconds to leave, watch it, and then come back, okay? And 2, 1. Okay. So Rukmini, who is sweet and kind and gentle, and the love interest, ends up being a total bitch. I don't know how else to say it. Oof. She was good too. Jayaram, who plays the king. I've seen him in Retro, Game Changer, and The Greatest of All Time, a movie I really liked. And also Pramod Shetty. This is I know I'm not going to pronounce this right, Kannada film, which is set in Karnataka of southwestern India. The film deals with divine possession during Buddha Kola ritual, which is based on actual real traditions. It's the tale of Panjurji and Samhuhu Divas of Tulanadu. And one character who originally I was going to call out because he was very funny in this is Rakesh Pujari, who played Pepe in this. He died 5 months before the film was released, and he was very funny. He was the comic relief. And I will tell you this: based on the trailer, I had no idea this movie was going to be as funny as it was. And there was a lot of humor, more so in the first half than the second half before the interval. But it was very funny. And it wasn't Bollywood over the top funny. It wasn't like that. But there was a lot of humor in this. And it's a very, very character driven film. Now, the story, and look, there's mythology here that I'm sure I do not understand, and I'm going to botch a lot of the backstory and the mythology of this whole thing. But basically, it's a story of three different, not kingdoms, but we'll say two villages and one kingdom, and how they're warring against each other, or it gets to that point anyway, where they live in this forbidden forest. And again, where it was filmed, I say this about a lot of these Indian films, it takes me to places I've never seen before, and this did that. The forest scenes are just absolutely beautiful. Now, I didn't know how much supernatural or mysticism or whatever you want to call it, possession, was a part of this. And it really comes out in the last half hour of the film, where there's a lot of it before that, but I don't want to say subtle because that's not the right word, but they don't hit you over the head with it. The last half hour, it's front and center. All this supernatural stuff, possessions. Um, but it's about this guy Burma, played by Rishab Shetty, who lives in a village in the forest where the kingdom enslaves some of them, and they pretty much don't cross borders. Well, at the opening of the film, there's a big fight scene where a king goes in to a place he's not supposed to be, and all of a sudden this supernatural stuff starts happening. He gets killed, and his son, a young son, runs away, who ends up becoming the king, who has a son who he lets become a king because his father couldn't do that because he died before he could be king. So he wants his son to be king while he's still alive. And it's about that. There's that story. Well, they cross over into the village. I wrote down the names of the village. What was the name of the village? Oh, John, you wrote this down. Oh, well, no, Kadapa was one village, and they were bad, covered in mud, evil. They were evil. Um, Kantara, geez, what am I talking about? Kantara was their village, and then the kingdom. So so one crosses the border, and there's a big fight, and the action scenes are fantastic. Like they do some slow motion stuff, but most of the stuff is at full speed. Well, now the warriors from Kantara want to go to the kingdom. And here's what kind of the humor comes in. What they do is, rather than attack, they do attack soldiers, and they take their uniforms and just walk through the city like soldiers, like they own the place. And it's very funny scenes. And then there's this scene with this giant chariot. Like I said, the action scenes are just phenomenal. And the guys playing the warriors, very funny characters, but they all had their moments. So again, it's a very character driven movie. And ultimately, the king gets greedy, the young king gets greedy, then the old king gets greedy, right? The young king, and it's a horrific scene where he goes in with his soldiers and wipes out Kintara, women, children. Well, now Burma gets possessed by. Okay, see, this is where I got to get this stuff right. Um, I'm not sure if he gets possessed. Brahma. Raksasha. Now that's definitely at the end. Oh, yeah. Guliga Dava, born of stone, formed by Parvati's ash and cursed by Vishnu. That's who he gets, and that's those scenes. So the whole movie, I, I'm rambling about the story because let me just explain. The story's okay. It's not a great story, all right? And like it's a two. The story's a two because it's a hard story to follow. But I was really interested in things that happened in this, okay? But him, Burma, played by Shetty, he's so likable. And when he needs to be fierce as a warrior, he's fierce. But when he gets possessed and his eyes go red, and all of a sudden he's got this big, crazy. And the other thing in this movie, a lot of screaming. I mean, like these warriors scream, and that's a thread throughout the entire film. And he's like bug-eyed, teeth showing, and he's beating up all the guys, and he ends up killing all the king and his soldiers. And then he comes back. Well, now the older king wants his revenge, and what you don't know is the queen that's been playing him, seducing him, pretending to fall in love. It's all part of a plan. So they can take over Kantara and get these sacred stones, the Dava stones, I think they're called. Um, so the final climax, after all this happens, the final climax is the king and the queen are possessed. They clip nails from him and hair to somehow bring forth this beast, some other spirit. And then it's a battle between. That's when, and this was the weird part of this. So there's a big battle at the end, and it's amazing. It is gigantic. If you think of Lord of the Rings, the battles in those films, that's what it was like. Although a lot of this it looked practical, the amount of people and all that, and very bloody, right? Very hand to hand. So while that's happening, and they're losing because now they've got this, they've got some mystical power behind them. He goes and jumps in this hole that's been throughout the movie, and he ends up like, and this is where it got a little strange for me. Um, it's like he there's a troll, and I think the troll was Brahma Raksasha. So they're fighting, and at one point, his eyes go red, and a snake climbs around him, and all of a sudden, the troll kneels before him, and he then possesses the power of that, and the huli, the tiger. Um, and he ends up. There's a big battle between him and the queen. And another great scene was his sister gets killed when the young king killed everybody. She possessed because he can't touch the queen for some reason. I didn't really understand that, but he couldn't touch her. So he goes, "Well, I won't touch you." He gets then possessed by his sister. So you hear a dual voice. You hear his, you hear the sister. And she and she straight up, like Batman and Bane, cracks her back and then twists her head, breaks the neck, spins it around. It's a great scene. That whole climax scene was excellent. Um, let me think what else was in there. Oh, the young king, and this is what I liked about the young king. Yeah, he was smarmy. He was evil. Like when he wiped out that village, it was awful. But the glee in which he did it, and the fact that most of the movie he was drunk, it was a very funny portrayal. It was evil and funny. But he was really good in this, and I think everyone was really good in this. But yeah, the name of the kingdom was Bangra. Um, yeah, so I gave the story too, but let me get into the performances. I loved the performances in this. Again, Burma. Not only was he great in the role, but the fact that he directed the film, and it's a big visual action scene, action packed. So give him a lot of props. The young king loved him. Um, the queen, you know, two different people, when she's trying to seduce him and play him a little bit, and then when she becomes evil. Great performances. I gave the performances a 4. Now, the music. There wasn't a lot of big musical numbers. There was a lot of music. Like the first song as they start farming in the village. So once they start trading with the kingdom. They work it out so that they can trade with them. And they start getting not technology, but modern stuff. And they're able to farm and figure out a way to get water down. So it's Bask in the Harvest song. The second song is when he starts to fall in love with her, with the queen, and they show them doing stuff together, and you see the bond forming. And at one point during the song, they call her the Enchantress, which is a little foreshadowing, isn't it? Um, the third song was the aftermath of the attack, where they're burying their dead, and it's tough. Um, the fourth song, they reconcile the kingdom and Kantara, and they're working together. They bring the stones to the kingdom. They're trading. They're working together because it's all part of the plan. So that was that song. And then the fifth song is after the climax of the film. They bring the stones back to the village. So the music, though, those numbers were okay, but the music, the incidental music, was crazy in this film. There were drum beats. Then there was like modern music. It fit with the mysticism of this film. I loved the music in this. It was really pounded. Um, so I'm going to give the music a 5 because I really think it added to the whole supernatural element of this. And overall, my overall verdict on this, I got to tell you, I wasn't sure if I was going to like this or not based on the trailer because it just looked too strange. But I gave it a 4. I really liked it. Now, I'm not going to lie, some of it was confusing to me. And I thought the story was okay. But the way it was put together, the cinematography, the set design, where this was shot, it was gorgeous. It really was gorgeous, and for me, it really raised the bar on the film. Now I have no idea what the Kantara is like. I don't know if it looks anything like this. He directed that one too. I don't know if it's set in the same time frame. So again, I don't know how this is going to compare, but yeah, I really enjoy this, and this is one I would like to have seen in the movie theater, and it was not playing in my local theater, but I would have liked to have seen this. So that's my review on that one. I don't have a recommendation tonight because I just watched this and I wanted to get this done right away. So if you haven't seen it, and hopefully you didn't watch the spoilers, check it out because it is a feast for the eyes and the ears too. And again, I don't think I've seen Rishab Shetty in anything, but he was really good in this as the actor and great as the director. Just an amazing, amazing job. And I liked everybody in this. So check it out if you get a chance, okay? All right, so that's my review of Kantara, A Legend, Chapter 1. Do me a favor. We're trying to hit 2,000. Hopefully, we're going to be there by the time this airs. But if not, help me out. Subscribe, hit the notification button, hit the like button. Small thing for you, big thing for the channel, okay? You got a recommendation, a song, a trailer, a film? Put it in the comment section. I'll get to it. ... Eventually, okay? All right, so that's it. Thanks, everyone, for watching. We'll talk to you soon on John Talks Indian Cinema with the trailer reaction, a movie review, a song reaction, or something else. We'll talk to you soon, and thanks again, as always. Jai Hind.